The traffic light holds you. The city hums. Inside your chest, a storm no one else can see. Thoughts collide like fists in a narrow room. The mind accuses, justifies, rehearses old arguments with ghosts. You haven't moved an inch, yet you're exhausted. This is the secret. The storm isn't weather, it's architecture. And what you built, you can dismantle. Today, you'll hear what the Buddha understood beneath the Bodhi tree. You'll discover the hidden mechanism that turns a single thought into a cyclone. You'll learn why resisting the storm feeds it, and how a single gesture, repeated with precision, can make the sky clear without force. You'll see why most people fight the wrong battle, and what happens when you stop treating your mind like an enemy and start treating it like a city you govern. Here's what's happening now, in the present. A breath enters, a thought arrives. You believe it. The thought multiplies, the body tightens, the breath shortens, the cycle locks. But something in you remembers another way. A way that doesn't suppress, doesn't drown, doesn't explode. A way that observes, names, releases. The storm was never the problem. The problem was the belief that you are the storm. The common enemy wears many faces. Sometimes it's rage that boils without warning. Sometimes it's anxiety that rehearses disasters that never come. Sometimes it's the weight that presses the chest at 3 in the morning, nameless and dense, but beneath every face, the same mechanism. A thought appears. You grab it. You feed it with attention, with belief, with story. It grows roots, it builds walls, it becomes your climate. Buddhist wisdom doesn't call this weakness. It calls it habit. The mind is a garden that forgot its gardener. Weeds don't grow because you're broken. They grow because you stop tending. The good news is simple and radical. You can return. You can learn again. You can become the one who chooses which seeds receive water and which receive only a glance before they pass like clouds. There's a teaching from the ancient texts. The mind is like a wild horse. Untrained, it runs wherever fear or craving calls. Trained, it becomes your ally, your vehicle, your strength. The difference isn't in the horse, it's in the rider. And the rider is not born knowing. The rider learns through falling, through patience, through the small daily gesture of holding the reins without violence. Let's map the storm. First, the spark. A memory surfaces, a person's face, a comment that stung, a deadline approaching like a train. The spark itself is neutral, it's information. But the mind doesn't stop there. It adds interpretation. This means, I'm failing. They always do this to me. Nothing ever works out. That's the second layer, story. And story is gasoline. Third, the body responds. The jaw clenches, the shoulders rise, the breath becomes shallow and fast. The nervous system reads danger, not the kind with teeth and claws, but the kind the mind invented. The body doesn't know the difference. It prepares to fight or flee or freeze. Now the storm has 3 floors: thought, story, body. And each floor reinforces the others in a loop that feels infinite. Buddhist practice names this with surgical clarity. The first arrow is the event. The second arrow is your reaction to the event. The first arrow you often can't control. Someone speaks harshly, the project fails, the news is heavy. But the second arrow, the one you shoot at yourself, this always depends on you. And most of the bleeding comes from the second arrow. Here's where the teaching gets precise. You can't stop the spark. Trying to block thoughts is like trying to stop the wind with your hands, but you can change what happens after the spark. You can learn to see the thought without boarding it. You can watch the story build without signing the contract. You can feel the body tighten and invite it to soften. This is the art, not control, redirection. The method has steps. Simple steps that the city hasn't taught you, but that fit inside any day. First, recognize. Name what's happening. There is anger, there is fear, there is the story that I am worthless. Naming is not agreement. Naming is seeing, and what is seen clearly loses half its power. The monster in the dark is terrifying. The monster under light is often just a coat on a chair. Second, allow. Give the feeling permission to be there, not because you like it, because it's already there. Fighting what is present is the gasoline. Allowing is removing the gasoline. The feeling doesn't need your approval to exist. It needs your non-resistance to move through and dissolve. Think of the body as a river. Emotions are water. Resistance is a dam. The dam doesn't stop the ductine. Water. It creates pressure. Remove the dam, and the water flows. Third, investigate, not with cruelty, but with curiosity. Where do I feel this in my body? What does this feeling need? What thought is feeding this right now? Investigation is the flashlight. It shows you the wiring. And when you see the wiring, you see it's not magic, it's mechanics. The storm is a sequence, and sequences can be interrupted. Fourth, non-identify. This is the master key. Say inwardly, I am not this anger, I am the space in which anger appears. I am not this anxiety, I am the awareness noticing anxiety. That inch of distance is the shore. Without it you drown. With it you stand on land watching the wave. The wave is real, the wave is strong, but you are not the wave. You are the ocean. And the ocean can hold storms without becoming only storm. Practice this in small moments. The driver who cuts you off, the message that lands wrong, the memory that stings without warning. In that instant, pause. 1 second. Recognize. There is irritation. Allow. It's here. Investigate. Tight jaw, hot chest, the thought they're careless. Non-identify. I am not this irritation. I am noticing it. Then breathe. 1 long exhale. Soften the shoulders. You just interrupted the loop. You just chose a different rail. The city offers endless training. The line that moves too slowly, the call that doesn't come, the noise through the wall. Each one is a chance. Not to be perfect, to practice. The monk in the city doesn't live without storms. The monk learns to navigate them without capsizing. And navigation is a skill, not a birthright. You train it, you refine it, you fail and return. That return is the practice. Now the deeper layer. Why do storms form so easily? Because the mind is designed to scan for threats. In the ancient world, that design kept you alive. The rustle in the grass could be wind or a predator. Better to assume predator. The nervous system that survived was the one that stayed alert. But in the modern city, the threats are different. They're not lions, they're deadlines, judgments, comparisons, losses that might never come. And the system doesn't know the difference. It treats an email like a predator. It treats rejection like death. Buddhist wisdom offers recalibration, not by denying danger, but by teaching discernment. Is this actually happening now? Or is this a story about what might happen? Is this a real threat, or is this an old wound speaking? When you ask those questions with honesty, half the storms dissolve, because they were never storms, they were echoes. There's another mechanism. The mind craves solidity. It wants a fixed identity, a clear story, a predictable script. But life is fluid. People change, plans shift, the body ages, relationships evolve. When the mind demands that the river be a stone, suffering multiplies. This is called attachment. Not attachment to people or things, but attachment to how things should be. And the tighter the grip, the more it hurts when life opens your hand. Letting go isn't giving up, it's adjusting your grip. Hold lightly what you love, tend it, care for it, but don't try to freeze it. The flower you squeeze too hard dies in your hand. The flower you hold gently blooms and, in time, returns to soil. Both are part of the cycle. Resistance to the cycle is where the storm hides. Here's a practice for when the storm is thick. Sit, feet on the floor, hands on your lap, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Bring attention to the breath, not forcing it, just noticing. The cool air entering, the warm air leaving. Count if it helps. 1 on the inhale, 2 on the exhale, up to 10, then start again. When the mind wanders, and it will, gently return to 1. No punishment, just return. Do this for 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, you're training the muscle of return. The mind will offer 100 distractions, a task, a worry, a memory, a plan. Each time you notice and return to the breath, you're cutting a groove. You're teaching the system that you can choose where attention goes. That choice is freedom. Not freedom from thoughts, but freedom from being controlled by them. Another layer. The mind loves drama. It loves intensity. Calm feels boring, so it creates problems to solve, conflicts to rehearse, disasters to prevent. This is the ego's job security. If there's no crisis, the ego feels useless. But you're not the ego. The ego is one voice among many. When you learn to hear it without obeying every command, the storms lose urgency. There's a story. A student asks the master, "How do I stop my thoughts?" The master replies, "Show me these thoughts." The student is silent. The master smiles. "If you can't show them to me, how can they control you?" Thoughts are not solid. They're events in awareness. They come, they stay briefly, they dissolve. Only when you grab them, believe them, build on them, do they seem permanent. Try this. When a heavy thought appears, imagine it as a cloud. Watch it drift across the sky of your mind. Don't push it away. Don't invite it in for tea. Just watch. Clouds don't ask permission to move. They move. Your thoughts are the same. Given space and non-resistance, they pass. The storm is only when you try to hold the clouds or fight them. Compassion is essential here. The mind isn't your enemy. It's trying to protect. To you with outdated tools. It scans for danger because once that was necessary. It tells stories because stories helped early humans predict and prepare. But now, the stories often harm more than help. Compassion means thanking the mind for trying, then gently redirecting. "Thank you. I see you're worried. I'll take it from here." Equanimity is the word Buddhism uses. It's not indifference, it's balance. The ability to feel without being swept away, to notice the storm without becoming the storm. Equanimity is the keel of the boat. It doesn't stop the waves. It keeps you upright. You train it. The same way you train any muscle. Small weights, repeated often. The small frustration met with a breath. The small joy met with gratitude without clinging. Over time, the keel deepens. Language matters too. Notice how you speak to yourself during storms. Often it's harsh. "I'm so stupid. I always mess up. Nothing works." That language is the second and third and fourth arrow. Try this instead. "This is hard. I'm learning. I'm doing my best," not as a lie, but as a fact. You are doing your best with the tools you have. And tools can be sharpened. Now the paradox. The more you chase calm, the more it escapes. The more you demand that the storm end, the more it howls. This is because demand is resistance, and resistance is the storm's fuel. So, what's the move? Stop chasing. Stop demanding. Instead, tend. Tend to your breath. Tend to your body. Tend to the quality of your attention. Calm isn't captured. It arrives when the conditions are right, and you create the conditions. Here are daily practices that fit inside a city life. Morning anchor. Before touching your phone, sit at the edge of your bed, feet on the floor. 3 long breaths. Inhale peace, exhale tension. Set 1. Intention. Today I will notice when I'm resisting. Today I will return to my breath. That intention is the seed. It grows quietly all day. Midday pause. Wherever you are, stop for 60 seconds. Look out a window. Feel your feet. Unclench your jaw. This pause interrupts the momentum of the day. It reminds the system that you're in charge, not the calendar. 1 minute seems small, but 1 minute repeated becomes a groove, and grooves become roads. Evening inventory. Before sleep, write 3 lines. 1 moment today when I met a storm with presence. 1 moment when I didn't. 1 thing I'm grateful for. No judgment, just noticing. That noticing is the light. The more you notice, the more you see patterns. Patterns can be changed. Body practices matter. The body and mind are not separate. When the body tightens, the mind tightens. When the body softens, the mind softens. So walk, move, stretch, feel the weight of your limbs, the rhythm of your pulse. The body is not a vehicle you ignore until it breaks. It's a partner. Tend it with respect. There's a deeper teaching. The storms aren't interruptions to your life. They're part of your curriculum. Each storm is a teacher. What is it showing you? Where are you clinging? What old wound is asking for attention? What boundary needs to be set? When you ask these questions with sincerity, storms become less like punishments and more like messages. The Buddha didn't teach escape from life. He taught clarity within life. He sat under the tree and faced everything. Desire, aversion, fear, doubt. He didn't fight them. He watched them. He saw their patterns, their roots, their impermanence. And in that seeing, he became free. Not free from thoughts, but free from being ruled by them. You can do the same, not by renouncing to the world, but by learning to live in it with a different quality of attention. You don't need a cave or a monastery. You need the willingness to pause, to notice, to return. That willingness is the seed of all transformation. Imagine your mind as a sky. Thoughts are weather. Storms come and go. The sky doesn't resist the storm. It doesn't fight the clouds. It remains. You are the sky. The storms are temporary. When you remember this, the panic softens. You can feel the rain without believing you are the rain. One final practice, loving kindness for yourself. When the storm is thick and you feel lost, place a hand on your heart. Say inwardly, "May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I accept this moment as it is." Not as a magic spell, but as a gesture of care. You're not weak for struggling, you're human, and humans need tenderness, especially from themselves. The secret behind your mental storms is this: they're not imposed by the universe, they're constructed by habit, fed by resistance, sustained by belief. And what's constructed can be deconstructed. Not overnight, but step by step. Breath by breath, return by return. You've heard the map. You've seen the mechanism. Now, the only question is whether you'll practice. Not perfectly, not without falling, but with the patient determination of someone who knows the stakes. Your life, your peace, your ability to love and create and rest, all of it depends on this. The mind trained is the difference between drowning and navigating, between reacting and responding, between suffering twice and suffering once. The city will keep roaring, the storms will keep forming, but you inside can become steady, not because nothing bothers you, but because you've learned to hold it all without breaking. The monk in the city doesn't have fewer storms. The monk has a different relationship with storms, and that relationship is built one conscious breath at a time. Share this teaching with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to continue training together. And remember, the storm was never the enemy. The enemy was forgetting that you are not the storm, you are the sky, and the sky can hold anything